Good, happy Sunday afternoon, January 31st, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this afternoon edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Sunday afternoon, so let's begin. First up, we're going to begin with a check of your weather. Nor'easter headed for New England. With more on that weather forecast, let's go to meteorologist Tim Kelly with more on that weather forecast.
Looking back through the books, I think it's January of 2018 is the last time I saw this much saltwater ice around. Let's go north to the Canadian border. This morning, Montgomery, Vermont, Josh Worth shared a photograph of his thermometer and all the snow he's had over the last couple of weeks. 14 below zero. He says, coldest so far this season. Well, Josh, we may match this in about 10 or 11 days. The entire nation is going to see a pretty severe cold outbreak beginning when we warm up next week. So there's a bunch of cold in Canada, a bunch of storms coming in and off the Pacific Ocean, and one storm after another generated severe weather yesterday in Oklahoma. And look at the intensity of that snow to our south right now in North Carolina and Virginia. This is a storm that's tending to weaken right now, even though it doesn't look like that, but then it's going to strengthen again tonight, and there's a very strong high pressure system responsible for the cold air in Quebec this morning, temperature 20 below. Anyhow, that gradient between low pressure south of Nantucket and high pressure to the north is going to generate storm force winds at the shoreline with a mixture of rain and snow. Power outages are a certainty with this storm, especially near the rain snow line. So those getting just all snow are not going to be hardest hit. Hardest hit will be the rain snow line area toward the shore. That's where the power outages will be greatest, and the snow will be more difficult to remove, even though it's going to be half as much as the 10 to 20 inches inland. This next system is going to be a powerhouse too, running to our west and north. There's a mixture of rain and snow here on Friday, and then look at that rain snow line in Vermont on Saturday. The severe cold is moving into the northern plain states at that time, probably arriving here after next weekend. We're talking even colder than what we're experiencing right now. Hopefully it doesn't last as long. Look at all this precipitation. At the coast, that's inches of rain. Inland, it's feet of snow. We'll add a little bit more to that snow in northern Vermont next weekend. So the ski areas are looking at 1 to 3 feet of snow over the next week. Here's the 10-day. We get a day off Thursday from all this weather. Today's not that bad either. And then on Friday, it's a little mix of rain and snow. Doesn't look that bad. Temperatures in the 40s for a lot of us with some downpours Friday night before gradual cooling. A huge gradient. While Burlington, Vermont will be in the 20s. Boston could be in the 40s next weekend. That whole cold will shift south next Monday and Tuesday. That's our forecast.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that was meteorologist Tim Kelly for that weather forecast. Thank you for that weather forecast, Tim Kelly. Gunshots fired on street of Manchester, New Hampshire. Officers recovered a shell casing in the road, but have not found any victims. A gunshot was fired shortly after midnight Saturday in Manchester, New Hampshire, as bars closed in the area, but no one appeared to be struck, authorities said. Around 1:30 a.m., police officers were near Wilson and Hayward Streets, heard a single shot nearby as several cars and pedestrians were heading home from a night out. Officers recovered a shell casing in the road, but have not found any victims. The incident is still under investigation. One dead, 3 others injured following Wayham shooting. The victim, who died, was found in a parking lot outside an apartment complex. Let's take a listen to that video from NECN.
Morning, we are following some breaking news. There is currently a very active investigation taking place in Weymouth. You're seeing officers at an apartment complex there. So this was happening in the overnight hours. It's located on the Patriot Parkway. Right now, still unclear what happened, but we do see several police cars outside of an apartment complex. Keep it right here to NBC 10 Boston. We're working to get more information for you on this story.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Man charged with making hoax Marine distress call. The caller said he lost our rubber. We are taking on water fast, and our pumps can't keep up with this, according to a federal court police affidavit. A man has been charged with making a false distress call to the U.S. Coast Guard in Maine that resulted in more than 5-hour search by boat and helicopter. Nathan Libby, 31, of Rockland, was charged with making a fake call on December 3rd via VHF-FM radio channel 16. The U.S. Attorney's Office said in a news release Friday. Libby is scheduled to be in court Monday. A lawyer was not listed for him in court documents. A possible phone number for him rang unanswered Saturday. The caller said, "We lost our rudder. We are taking on water fast, and our pumps can't keep up with this," according to a federal court police affidavit. The caller said he was on a 42-foot boat in Spruce Head Harbor. The search included the use of the Coast Guard and Maine Marine Patrol vessels and a helicopter from Coast Guard Air Station Cape Cod. No vessels was found. The caller was eventually traced to Libby, an employee of the Spruce Head Fishermen's Co-op, and a criminal complaint was filed against him Wednesday in federal court in Portland. Calls like these unnecessary, put our rescue crews at risk, drain resources, and may limit our ability to respond to actual emergencies, Captain Brian Lee Brave, commanding officer of Coast Guard schooner Northern New England, said in a written statement. The hoax call came less than 2 weeks after a boat carrying 4 Maine fishermen sank off Cape Cod on November 23rd, mounting an extensive search. The fishermen were never found. Creator of Bernie Mittens partners with Vermont teddy bear maker to meet soaring demands. I can't be more thrilled because I personally can't make 18,000 pairs of mittens, Jen Ellis said Saturday, estimating how many people have contacted her. Everybody will get mittens. Everybody. The teacher who created the recycled wool mittens that U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders wore to the presidential inauguration, engaging countless memes, is partnering with the Vermont Teddy Bear Company to create a whole mitten line to meet soaring demand, with some of the proceeds going to Make-A-Wish Vermont. I can't be more thrilled because I personally can't make 18,000 pairs of mittens, Jen Ellis said Saturday, estimating how many people have contacted her. Everybody will get their mittens, everybody. Ellis, a Vermont elementary school teacher who has a side business making mittens out of recycled wool, gave Sanders a pair as a gift, and he wore them to the President Joe Biden's inauguration. His fashion look, also featuring a winter jacket made by Burton snowboards, sparked countless memes and prompted by the photo taken by agency French Press. The former presidential candidate could be found on social media timeless, taking a seat on a subway, the moon, and the couch with the cast of Friends, among others creative memes. Sanders raised at least $1.8 million in merchandise for charities stemming from the January 20th image of him seated with his arms and legs crossed, clad in his brown parka and the recycled wool mittens. Sanders put out so-called Chairman Sanders merchandise, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, and stickers on his campaign website. Vermont Teddy Bear, which makes handcraft bears for all occasions, including a Bernie one, reached out to Ellis to see if she'd be interested in partnering. Jen is going to work hand in hand, mitten in hand, with each one of our designers to ensure that the Bernie mitten design in multiple patterns is produced in a way that meets her standards of quality, said Haynes McCarthy, Vice President of Production, Invitation Brand, Creative, and Consumer Experience. We're excited to be in the mittens category, McCarthy said. It's not clear when the first mittens would be available for purchase. Those interested in getting a pair can leave an email at the company's website. In the past, Vermont Teddy Bear has made special bears to raise money for Make-A-Wish Vermont, and recently gave office space to the organization for 1 year, said James Hathaway, President and CEO of Make-A-Wish Vermont. Hathaway said the charity lost $250,000 in revenue during the pandemic. We are so grateful to Vermont Teddy Bear, Jen, and of course to Bernie for being so Bernie, Hathaway said in a statement. Governor Lamont may lift some COVID-19 restrictions in Connecticut this week. Let's take a listen to that video.
Turning now to COVID-19 in our state, and right now the coronavirus positivity rate and hospitalizations are down here in Connecticut, standing at their lowest rate in months. And for that reason, Governor Lamont says the state could be lifting some restrictions as early as this week. NBC Connecticut's Dominique Moody explains.
While vaccine distribution continues to take shape and is set to increase through the next couple of days, the state metrics are trending in the right direction, according to Governor Lamont. For the first time in months, both the positivity rate and the number of hospitalizations have dipped, which may mean looser restrictions for places of worship and restaurants. Lately, places of worship have had to cut down on their capacity limits. That also goes for many restaurants who, in addition to capacity rollbacks, have had to shut down by 10 p.m. each night. The X factor with future reopening decisions will depend on how many people are able to get the vaccine.
Much safer to go to church once you've been vaccinated, go to a house of worship once you've been vaccinated. So err on the side of caution, but these are some changes we're going to make given the nature of the changes you've seen.
The state is expected to receive an additional 16% of vaccine doses this week and is focusing on those 75 and older. In Hartford, Dominique Moody, NBC Connecticut News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Governor of Rhode Island to end early closing times for some Rhode Island businesses. The restrictions required many businesses, including restaurants, to close at 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and 10:30 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. The restrictions that required many Rhode Island businesses to close early to thwart the spread of coronavirus are scheduled to be lifted Friday, according to a spokesperson for the state Commerce Department. The governor will sign an executive order Friday to lift them immediately, according to an email from a spokesperson. The Department of Health director said Thursday that restrictions that required many businesses, including restaurants, to close at 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and 10:30 p.m. on Friday and Saturday would be lifted Sunday because key coronavirus metrics were heading in the right direction. That schedule has been moved up. The restrictions were put in place in late November. Biden pushes new COVID-19 relief package. No ifs and or buts. Let's take a listen to that video from NBC News.
The pandemic is not just a health crisis, of course. It has brought with it economic pain for millions of Americans. This week, the Biden administration is pushing Congress to pass a new relief bill. But the proposed legislation already is testing President Biden's promise to work with congressional Republicans. NBC's Kelly O'Donnell is at the White House with more. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning, Willie. There is a lot on the line for millions who are waiting for financial help and better access to vaccines. And there's a lot at stake for President Biden and his early political capital. The president has been reaching out to some Republicans, but increasingly Democrats show they are ready to use the Senate rule book to move forward without needing Republican votes. President Biden's motorcade made a short trip to Catholic Mass Saturday evening. Personal time before a high-pressure push to deliver on COVID relief. The president signaled Friday that his patience for courting Republican support is growing short.
I support passing COVID relief with support from Republicans if we can get it, but the COVID relief has to pass. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
An issue for Republicans targeting relief to those who lost jobs and income. The president reached out to Maine Republican Susan Collins.
The fact that he called me, he's called me twice since the election. I think is a very good sign.
But Majority Leader Chuck Schumer was blunt about next steps.
We hope they join us this week. If they don't, we're moving forward on our own.
Disputes over policy and people. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi criticizing GOP leader Kevin McCarthy for his refusal to take action against the conspiracy theory spreading Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia.
Just filed articles of impeachment on President Joe Biden. We'll see how this goes.
Democrats say Taylor Greene's past support for violence against Speaker Pelosi, harassment of school shooting survivors, and support for false QAnon conspiracies makes her a danger.
What deeply troubles me is the Republican elected officials who aren't out there denouncing it.
Mitt Romney did, calling out Taylor Greene's nonsense and the big lie of a stolen election. The GOP internal struggle extends to attacking House Republicans who voted to impeach President Trump. Heat aimed at Wyoming's Liz Cheney, and now South Carolina's state party censured Congressman Tom Rice Saturday.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this afternoon edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your afternoon, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.